Martone, 3 head fakes, 4 head fakes. It's Porter Martone.
I just
Yep.
want to start off with I saw your 94 questions with Bar Down. I thought you did a
Yeah.
fantastic job with that. Those were some hard questions.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah. So,
Thank you.
can you tell me about some of your strengths and weaknesses that you think is your biggest strength and what you need to work on?
Yeah, I think I'm overall a power forward who's highly skilled, but I think my biggest strength is just my hockey IQ, the way I can see the ice, and the way I can kind of adjust my game to different scenarios. I think I know when there's the right time to shoot and when there's right time to set up my teammates, and I also think I can play a big, powerful game that I finish my checks and be a hard player to play against. And then one thing that I kind of been working on is just my overall pace, but that just comes with getting bigger and stronger. And I think I've been doing a better job this year, and I think it's showing just when I am playing with pace, I'm a hard player to stop. But I think I still got another level to go to that.
I completely agree on all of those aspects.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
could create your perfect line mate, what three qualities do you think that you would implement into them?
Just kind of high hockey IQ, sees the ice very well. Can score and likes to play a hard game.
If hockey didn't exist, what do you think would be your passion?
I don't know. It's kind of like for me, it's always been hockey since I was a little kid. I just fell in love with it. So, that's a really tough question for me. All I've ever dreamed of is playing in the NHL, but it'd have to be something in sports.
I heard on Bar Down that you wanted to be an NHL GM. Which team do you think you would manage, and what would you do with their current
I'm not
roster?
sure. I think I like just being in hockey. I would like to see what the behind the scenes are of maybe Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
I grew up being a Leafs fan, so I don't think I would change anything. They got experts doing that. I'm more just a hockey player.
I gotcha, I gotcha. If you could take one skill from any NHL player, past or present, who would it be?
Connor McDavid, probably his speed.
What's one thing most fans don't realize about the NHL draft process from a player's perspective?
I'm not really sure. I think maybe just like how much you meet with teams and talk to teams, but I've enjoyed every minute of that. It's a fun process. Only get to be in your NHL draft year one.
What would you rather score, a Michigan or dangle through three defenders for a goal?
Probably dangle to three defenders.
Weirdest late night snack?
I'd probably have a bag of chips.
Nice. What's your bag of chips that you would eat?
I'd probably miss Mickey Salzburger.
What's the dream scenario for you on draft night?
I don't know, just probably get as picked as high as I can, and get picked by a team that wants me, and I'll be happy where I go and whatever team picks me, and it's something I've been dreaming of as a little kid to be drafted in the NHL. So I'm very excited, and I think it's gonna be a very fun night for me and my family.
Are there any books that have helped change your perspective or help you grow in any way?
Yeah, I read a couple books the odd time. I'm pretty busy, but I like to read a couple books, maybe like the championship, like a mindset of a champion. I like reading like different books, just about hockey.
If you could play in an NHL outdoor game at any location in the world, where would it be?
Probably Alaska.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool one.
Uh,
Chess or checkers?
Chess.
If you could go back and
Yeah.
give advice to your 10-year-old self about hockey, what would you say?
Like just have fun with hockey. You just do it because you love it and you have really passionate love for the game.
And when did you know you could potentially make it to the NHL?
I think probably when I was I don't know. I've always believed that I could play. I wanted to play in the NHL, and I could. I think it all comes with work ethic, and you put the right mindset to it. So,
Mhm.
I think I've always really been able.
During a shootout or a breakaway, is your move predetermined?
I kind of got to see what the goal is doing, and then you do your move according to what the goal is doing.
What's your favorite play you've ever made?
I think there's been a lot. I think probably a couple of them are just making good plays. One of my assists in the gold medal game. of the U18 World Championship. I think that's pretty cool, and also scoring in the World Juniors was pretty cool too.
If you're stuck in an airport for 6 hours with your teammates, who's the best person to be with?
All my teammates, I like all of them. I think we have a really tight group, and I like to hang out with all of them.
Who do you compare yourself to?
The NHL,
Yeah, past or present.
Matthew Tkachuk,
Nice.
Matthew Tkachuk.
What's the best piece of advice a coach or veteran player has ever given to you?
I think just probably like just just trusting your instincts, and trusting your skill, and just have faith in your ability. I think when you put in confidence, that's when you're playing your best. And I think another thing is just always to put in 100% effort, because you just got to keep on working if you want to achieve your goals. And I
Mm.
think that the biggest thing is work ethic. And yeah.
What's one thing that you do off the ice that makes you a better hockey player, even if it doesn't seem related?
I think working out. I think a lot of my success in the ice comes from the work you put in the off season and in the gym.
In 10 years, when kids are playing straight hockey, what do you hope they say when they pretend to be you?
Well, I don't know. I definitely hope I make the NHL. I want to be a role model to plenty of kids, and
Mm.
hope I win a couple Stanley Cups along the way. So just being able them looking up to me, and being just a positive role model would be pretty cool.
What would your day with the Stanley Cup look like?
And yeah, definitely bring it to my hometown, and kind of maybe have a little party with my family and friends. Winning the Stanley Cup is definitely my end goal in the NHL, and I think just being able to celebrate that with the people closest to me would be pretty cool.
Have you envisioned your first NHL game?
Yeah, I think since I don't know, you kind of always dream of skating out that rookie glass with no bucket on or no helmet on. So I think that's pretty cool. Just kind of imagine that.
You can design your perfect goal. Where are you scoring it? Who's the goalie, and how does it happen?
Is that my perfect goal?
Yeah.
I think maybe it'd be like Game 7 of playoffs or Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe go ahead goal, and score a goal from the slot. And I don't really know what goal I shoot out. I want it to be a pretty crucial moment, and maybe Stanley Cup game winner, and send my team to the Stanley Cup.